One of the main goals of recruiters when conducting phone interviews is speed. Remember that they have to deal with a ton of resumes on a daily basis. This means that you have about 5 minutes after you say your first hello to convince the interviewer that you deserve a second interview. In this video, whether you're a complete call center newbie or a veteran, I'll show you how to ace your phone interview so you can make a great first impression during those first precious minutes. Let's begin. My tip number 1 is time is super limited. Keep your answers short, clear, and direct. In a final interview, it is completely appropriate to be more detailed with your answers. But in an initial phone interview, you gotta do the opposite. You gotta shorten your answers to fit your recruiter's tight schedule. Try something like this. My guess is you probably already have your answers prepared. If so, I recommend that you go over them, optimize for simplicity and conciseness. And by the way, simple does not necessarily mean bland and boring. It's just trimmed down to deliver the maximum impact in the shortest time possible. And my tip number 2 is to learn the common job interview questions as well as their why. As long as you understand the why behind each interview question, you'll be able to answer the interviewer no matter how he phrases it. For example, if you understand why recruiters ask, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" then you know where you stand with your answer because you know exactly what they want to hear.
So tell me, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So in 5 years, I see myself still in the industry, just a lot more skilled and experienced.
You don't have any plans to pursue your nursing career?
Honestly, I did consider that, but to be a nurse and take care of myself and my family at the same time, I would have to go abroad, and that's not something I'm looking to do. What I like about the call center industry is that it allows me to take care of my family and stay with them.
Okay, but wouldn't you prefer to be in a nursing job?
That's always been my dream as a kid, honestly. But I think customer service isn't really all that different from nursing. You have to accommodate and adjust. What really drew me to nursing in the first place was the sense of service to others, and I see that a lot in customer service. In this example, the common interview questions that were implied but not directly said, "Why do you want to work in a call center?" The interviewer didn't say that, but it was obvious from the line of questioning. It's also answering the questions, what made you switch careers? Why are you applying for this role instead of a career in your own field of study? As you can see, each interview question can manifest in different shapes and forms. What matters the most is that you understand why they're asking the question and what it is exactly that they want to hear. Below is a link to my blog post where you'll find a table outlining each question, its purpose, and the recommended answer. You literally have zero excuse not to learn this, so you better check out that link. Tip number 3, if they catch you at a bad time, say this: "I'm really excited to speak with you, but I want to make sure you have my full attention. Would it be possible to schedule a better time?" And then you book the soonest possible time. The closer it is to now and the more precise the hour is, the better the chance of them calling you back. Another option would be to ask, when would be the best time available for you? And then you roll with it. And of course, you have to make sure that you really are available by then. And tip number 4, your voice is your first impression. Make it unforgettable. Your interviewer doesn't know you as a person, doesn't even see you. They're relying fully on your voice to judge you. Even if you have a friendly and open disposition, but your voice is monotone, they're going to perceive you as unenthusiastic or disinterested. You don't want that. The energy and confidence that you want to imbue in your answers should also reflect into your voice. First thing you're going to do is smile. Research has proven that smiling during tense moments helps alleviate anxiety. But if that doesn't convince you, just know that a smile can be heard over the phone. Take, for example, these recordings.
Thank you for calling ABC Company. This is Candace. How may I help you today? Thank you for calling ABC Company. This is Candace. How may I help you today?
Can you guess which of these recordings I was smiling in? I guess you can tell. And aside from smiling, you gotta practice vocal variety. Vocal variety is changing your pitch, pace, tone, and volume to keep your delivery engaging and dynamic. When any of these is the same and unchanging, it sounds flat and uninteresting.
I would not say I'm the smartest or the most charismatic person, but my strength is that I don't give up easily. I wouldn't say I'm smart or that I'm charismatic, but my strength is that I am persistent. I'm also naturally patient with customers. I'm also naturally patient. As a bartender for 3 years, I was a bartender for 3 years. I've had my fair share of angry customers. And if I make mistakes, I own them and learn from them. Apologize if I have to.
And another thing you can do to make your voice pop is to listen, mimic, and record. You pick a voice actor, anyone you like listening to. Chances are you like listening to them for a reason. They have a great command of their voice. And what you do is you start mimicking them while also recording yourself. Once you're done recording, you listen to the original recording and to your own recording side by side and decide which part you can alter to make it sound closer to the original recording. You repeat this exercise enough times, I would say probably at least a month. I know it's going to be boring, but it's going to be worth it when you hear your very first attempt compared to your latest attempt. And chances are you're going to be able to hear a huge difference. My tip number 5 is to use interactive practice videos. What I mean by that are practice videos where it mimics as closely as possible the atmosphere of an actual phone interview. What I'm planning to do next week is to create a video or an audio recording where I act as the interviewer, and then I'll give you probably 20 to 30 seconds. I will give you a moment of silence to answer, and then I'll proceed to the next question. What this does is to acclimate you or help you get used to the actual interview so that when the actual interview comes, it doesn't feel as foreign anymore because you've had your practice. You will still feel nervous, but it's not going to be as big and as terrifying as when you're experiencing it for the first time. Once that's ready, I'm going to link it here at the top. It's going to be a playlist where before your interview, you can view or listen to these videos and you can have your practice. If you have suggestions about how I should go about it, let me know in the comments below. But if this is all too much and you're a complete newbie, you're just looking for a quick fix so that you could land a job immediately, here's what I recommend. This is sort of like cheating, but whatever. I recommend that you memorize your answers word for word if you're an extremely anxious person so that during the interview you have something to say. This just makes sure that if you get paralyzed and you can't answer the question, you still have something going on in your brain because you've memorized some lines. Honestly, that's what I did when I started applying for jobs. I started in immunology first, and then I-Core, 611 Global Services, and then off-sourcing. I only got comfortable with impromptu speech when I was in Cebu applying in Convergys and ePerformax. And not all people can freestyle and just improvise, and I understand that. Some people could be fine, but when anxiety kicks in, they're just diminished into this state where everything is just too terrifying. And so memorizing the answer, there's no shame in that if you really need the job immediately. But if you want a long-term fix, practicing impromptu speech is the best way to go. You can join the Facebook group that I recently created. It's where call center people can post questions and answers about call centers. So if you're interested, join my Facebook group and see you there. All right, everyone, if you have any questions and suggestions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Bye.